Hello, welcome. Basically, today is another reading that I'll have for you. Basically, it's gonna be very interesting of how it is. I hope that you guys will keep in mind, and I hope that everything will be all right. So this is gonna be a very fantastic reading. This is gonna be August 2nd of 2023. It's going to be a happy Wednesday to all as well. So I hope that this can be a good reading for you all, and I hope that this will be very interesting of how it is. So just remember what the cards are doing, what the cards are saying, if the cards are kind of okay, this is what it seems to be. So think about it, think about how it is. Remember how it seems to be. This is like a different reading, but all it is, it's going to be very interesting. So, keep in mind how it is. Um, if this reading seems to be very interesting of how it is, then that would be okay. And we will get started as we move along. So, you know, this won't be a very long reading, but if it is, then fine. But yeah, just to let you all know, because this is going to be a focus on what's going on and seeing it as believing it and understanding of what's going on and who's doing this and where it is, and it seems to be that. So and then overall I have I have kind of like these little not trivia questions, but kind of like how it is. um so I might even put that in there as one of the cards are saying. um, and kind of be acting like if it's funny or not. So, this is how it depends. I have the Oracle cards as well, so we're going to check on those as well to see what's going on. Um, so, as a matter of fact, I'll be doing this as well. See how this is and see how it seems to be. So, I hope that this will be good. Um, we're going to figure out who's doing this and how many cards there are. And let's see, because I want to see who's on the left side, who's on the right side. We're going to look at the basics, and we don't know who's in the middle, but we're going to figure that out, and we're going to move along. So this is what it seems to be, and I hope that you guys will like this. Okay, here we go. So this is what's going on here. We're going to look at the left side, we're going to look at the right side, but it depends on how it is. So we're going to look at this. So let's see okay, so we have the Ten of Cups is reversed, followed by the Four of Cups is upright. Oh, interesting. And then we have the Two of Cups is upright, followed by the Sun reversed. Now, this is very a logical explanation of how it seems to be, right? Now, the Four of Cups represents Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer in that situation. And I know for a fact that this is very interesting because you're losing faith of everything else. You don't know which direction you're going to take, but in the way of how that is, you can understand about this is like a way of how it is, right? Now, think about this as a very good explanation that you have your thing and you don't know what to do with it. Well, you have to think about what is wrong, right? Now, you don't know why we have reverse cards here, like the Sun card reversed and the Ten Cups reversed. But I'm happy with this because you have the Four of Cups here and the Two of Cups here, you know. Now, that's how it seems to be, right? It's a system of how it seems to be, but we don't know who's in the middle here. We don't know who's in the middle, and let's see how that is. So we have to impose of what the middle card is. Let's see. The Four of Swords is upright, so that must be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So basically, now we know that it's the reverse. It's two of the reverse cards, two uprights, and one upright as well. So, we have Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Like we have that, okay? So now we have that imposing that situation. But overall, we're going to figure this out. So let's opposite of the Ten of Cups. Let's opposite of the what's opposite of the Sun. Okay, so let's see. We have the Two of Water is a relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness, positive resolution of a conflict. That's how it seems to be for that one. Followed by you have the Ace of Water is falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth and enhanced intuition, a new home. Exactly, that's what it seems to be, okay? So now you have back to water signs, right? So now you have water signs versus the air signs in this puzzle picture thing. This is how it kind of is, and you have to have that graphic way of how it seems to be. Now, everything can be all nice and everything, but it can be very different. Now, I understand that we're going to keep continuing this on, and we will. What's opposite of the Two of Water? What's opposite of the Ace of Water? The Four of Cups and the Two of Cups. What's opposite? We have, okay, so we have the Six of Swords reversed. Oh boy. We have the Five of Swords is upright, okay. We have the Hierophant is reversed. And we have the Six of Wands reversed. Okay, so, now we have the sequence of having the Six of Wands reversed, or no, the Six of Swords reversed, the Hierophant reversed, and the Six of Wands reversed. Okay, so we have those three reverse cards. But still having that convincing side of having conflict, you know, you know where you are if you're having conflict. Conflict is a bad reputation, okay? Well, it does happen, right? You have to focus on that, right? You have to believe that you can do this. Nonetheless, that you can take your time and go slow and, do what you can. And I know for a fact it is. But you have to remember that if you believe they can do this, believe that you can do this. No matter what you can, right? No matter how it is. Because you have to believe they can do it. Seeing is believing. Believing is seeing. And you know for a fact that you can do it. No matter the outcome is, no matter what's going on, but you can see it. Right? You have to see this whole entire picture. Okay? Now, let's see what's going on. Okay, now we have to believe that we have to fix this. We have to order to fix this. Why? Because, well, this is like a different puzzle now. This is very different, right? So now you have to think that, okay, well, I don't know what's going on, right? We don't know like what's the opposite of the Four of Swords. Let's see what's the opposite of that. Ah, the Nine of Water is your wish comes true. Concerns fade away. A love of life. That's what remains focused, right? So now it's focused on the water signs. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. So now you have to impose that when you do this, as a wonderful feeling that you can, in order to resist and be accountable for, you have to do that as your actions. Now, I don't want to scare you. I don't want to do anything. But in this whole entire life cycle or the puzzle or whatever it is, It gets you to know what's going on. Okay? You have to figure out who's doing this, why someone's pulling your trigger, who's getting you down, who's making you upset, right? You think about that because you have to understand that who, what, where, when, why, sometimes how in that situation, right? You have to believe about that, right? You have to have a way that you can do this. No matter the outcome is, no matter. Let's see what reverse cards are. I'll do the uprights because I want to know for a fact of what's going on with the uprights. The reverse cards, yes. So we only have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five reverse. Okay. Followed by the uprights. Now let's see what the uprights are. How many? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 uprights. 7 upright. 7, yeah, 7 uprights. And let me count this again. So 7 uprights, 5 reversed. Okay. Now this is going to be a significant puzzle. Why? Let me explain. Yeah. Let me explain why I don't do puzzles. Well, because they are confusing. Why they're confusing? Because they can make you a little tick. Like, it's going to make you a little bit confused. But in a way, it will make you very upsetting, right? Now you have to take a deep breath and stay focused. Okay. Now, overall, what I'm going to do is that you normally see me doing the uprights and doing the reverse cards. Fine. But you're going to see it a little bit more different, a little more difficult, a different more way, a different more structured way. And this is how it is. This is how a puzzle is going to work because you have to maintain it, right? So if you maintain your positivity and your negativity, you're going to make your negativity to go away and stay positive as much as you can. So when things get to very different and very outputting a different way, it's going to be very different. Okay? So let me say this. Let me try to explain. So let's say the reverse cards were so one reverse card here, this reverse card here, this reverse card here, this reverse card here. Okay, now you say why we have all these reverse cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 reverse cards. Now you think, okay, this is a bad reputation. It is a bad reputation, but that's not how it is. That's not how it's going to stop. You have these uprights, okay? So now you're happy like the 2 of, you know, clubs, or the 2 of cups, like shows up. You have the ace of water. You have the 5 of swords is upright. You have the 4 of cups upright. You have the 2 of water upright. You have the 9 of water upright. You see all this, but you don't know what you're going to fit. The 4 of swords is upright. Okay, you cannot fit. Let's say you're fitting it here. Now you know that you have the 5 of swords over here, and you only have the 4 of cups over here. Okay, fine. But now you think that this is a different puzzle now. It's very different. Why? because you have to figure out on, what's going on next. Okay? And you have to see it as you are to believe it. You have to believe on what you're looking for, right? Now, let's say that we're going to get more than, let's say more than six zodiac signs here. Six. Six. And we're going to have more than that. So let's say we're going to see if I can switch this up. Okay, now I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to put it into a different order of what the cards are, right? And we're going to see it as my way. Okay, now we don't know who's in this direction, who's going to be doing this. So what's opposite of the Ace of Water? What's opposite of the Four of Swords? What's the opposite of the Two of Cups? Right? So we're going to have those. Let's see. We have the Seven of Air, plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, poor timing. That's how it is, right? Now you have the Eight of Fire is events moving at a fast pace, delays are over, many things happening at once, right? That's how it is. And over here, you have the Awakening, Archangel Gabriel. Look at things from a different perspective. Interpret standstill. It's important to believe yourself, to be yourself. Now you have that, right? Now you have, okay, well, it does make sense. But wait for a minute, okay? This doesn't make any sense. This does not make any sense. Why? Now you have the Nine of Water, you have the Two of Water, okay? Now I did say that there could be more zodiac signs. Yes. So now there are 9 zodiac signs. You have the water, you have the air, you have fire. Okay? That's 9 zodiac signs. Now 9 zodiac signs are very different. Okay? Now you have to focus on that. Why? Because you have to face that. You have to face your own ability that you can do this. Okay? This is not going to stop you. This is not how you have your P's and Q's and whatever. No. You're going to focus on that. Now, 9 zodiac signs in this puzzle, where I'll see this as what it seems to be. Okay. Now, let's see for a second that you have to focus on what the cards are saying. And you think, okay, well, I want to stop. No, you're going to keep going. Because what's the opposite between the Seven of Air and the Five of Swords? What's the opposite of the Nine of Water and the Two of Water? Right? So we're going to look at that. We have, okay, the Page of Cups reversed. Interesting. Okay, so now we know what's happening here. What's opposite? We have the Devil reversed. Yeah, okay, right? So we have the non-verbal dispute. We have the non-ability of how that direction is going. Okay, now interesting of how that outcome is, we always have to intrude that situation. We always have that because that's the ability of it, right? So what's the opposite of the Page of Water or Page of Cups, and what's the opposite of the Devil card reversed? So we have, okay, the ego is archangel is a false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts, right? And this one over here, you have the Seven of Earth is seek well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. So you see that now we have at least 12 zodiac signs here in this picture. Now now it kind of gives you that way of that motivation, right? It's that way. It's that perspective of how it is. Yes, things can be very different. Things can be all interesting, but that's not how it is. You have to focus. You have to have a based on how it is, because when things go a different way, you have to look at them, right? Because yes, I don't do puzzles. I don't do that, but this acts like a puzzle. It does. In my own perspective, it does, because you have to focus on, your ins or outs, the middle, whatever it is. You have to focus on that. And that's what it seems to be. And you have to believe about that. You know? It's that way, it's that how that outcome is. And you have to understand of how it seems to be. So, you have to focus on what's going on and stuff. So when you see that and you believe about it, you have to understand of how it is. It's that way. It's that how you're going to look at a way of knowing what to do, because that's what it's based on. And nonetheless, that when you look at this, when I mention about more zodiac signs, there's at least 12 zodiac signs. My goodness, wow. Because that's what it is. So when you look at this from a based on how this is how it seems to be. So you have to maintain that. So the further ado, without any question, without any worry, I already shuffled these cards, so I'll see what's going on. And then I'll pick one of these and I'll see who's following you in the playing cards. So we have the Lady of Gift, generosity, receiving, withholding. Nice, absolutely card. So we're going to look at that. So let's see what the wisdom of the hidden realms are. I'm not going to read everything. So the Lady of the Gift that is here. I'm not going to read everything, but it says so. Like this is a lot of info, but I don't want to read everything. So I'll say what the challenger is. The Lady of the Gift says that the act of withholding isn't welcome in her world. In fact, withholding information is another way to lie. Are you doing this? Perhaps someone is doing it to you. Withholding something in in order to keep you manipulated and controlled, so you believe deep down you're not quite good enough. Now is the time for you to address the concept of withholding. If you see this in any aspect of your life, it's time for a change. Giving to others with the idea of getting something in return is also being warned against here. The best way out of this mirror is to give with honesty and with an open heart and without expectation. The Lady of the Gift challenges you to be generous and compassionate. You can always start again. Exactly. So when you have that theory of being manipulated and everything else, and there's something that's not going your way, you have to have that feeling where things can go from a good way or a not so good way. That's how it is. You have to focus and believe in yourself that you can do this. You know, it's that simple. It's that way of how it is. Because nonetheless, you have that interesting way of how everything can be going from left, right, and center. Or, you have to stay positive instead of negative. If someone's deep down of being irresponsible or disobedient or whatever it is, it's a negative feeling. You have to let them to back off and, saying, I can't do this anymore. You have to do that. You have to have a basic formula of knowing what to do, right? Because you have to control your emotions. You have to believe that you can do this, right? I am just a reader, but I'm telling you what's going on. That's why when I don't do puzzles, okay, it makes me want to think more and more and more. But when you're thinking, you're not thinking positive, you're thinking about negative. And negative will go and go and go and it will make you all angry inside of your brain, right? And you can't stop. So if you try to understand what's going on, you have to see that as what the cards are saying. Because nonetheless, that this is a very interesting way of how it is. You have to believe about that. You have to understand of what's going on and who's doing this. And I know who's doing this. You have to focus, if the air signs are getting back to you of what you're doing against the water signs or the fire signs or the earth signs, you have to control your ability of knowing from right and wrong. You know, that's what it seems to be. That's how you have to believe that you can do this as long as you need to, you know. And that's how this whole entire puzzle is. It was small earlier, but now it's bigger, right, in the puzzle. So that's what I have for you. But not only that, we have these. So this is how it remains. It kind of gives you a play what could happen if you want to do this, right? It's almost like a trivia question, but this can be very interesting of how it is. Like if you want to laugh at it, fine. If you don't want to laugh, then that's okay. But let's see how it is. I'm going to see what's happening, and I'll pick which one of this. So let's see how it is. This is before I do the playing card, okay? So let's see. All right, so this one, it says which one, okay? Let me look. Eat ants on your ice cream, or you forget everything you previous today. That's a really interesting way, okay? Eat ants on your ice cream? No, thank you for that. That's a bad idea. Don't do that. Maybe throw the ice cream away with ants. Second is you forget everything previous day. Well, in a way of that is that you're kind of like acting that I was acting like I was happy today and then I was angry at some point. Now, between those two emotions, okay, um, in a way of how that is, it's like I have ability of acting from being all happy and all angry. Okay. Now it's two different emotions, two different emojis. One's happy, one's angry. Okay. Now what this card means, you forget every previous day. Now for my day, is that everything is all fine, everything is great, but now everything just changed. where it was okay and everything's all upsetting. Okay. Now, do you ever get the feeling that you had a good day and all of a sudden you had a bad day and then quick it goes back into a good day? It has, right? I am in between, and I'm focusing on staying positive instead of negative, right? I had a negative earlier, but now I'm having positive because I'm switching things. I'm switching my emotions around, right? And that's what it seems to be. You have to believe that you can do that, right? If you eat ants on your ice cream, like no, 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 no. That's very very a bad thing to do. That's a bad outcome. But I like it when you forget every previous day. Like that's how it is, right? Because you have to understanding that whether you are acting nice, whether you're acting angry or mean or whatever, you have to change it around. You have to change it because you have to believe that you can do it. You can do it if you put your mind to it. Or, you have to understand that, okay, well, there's something very interesting about this, right? It's like, what can I do? What can I say? And, it's very different because you have to understand no matter what you face in life, you have to believe that you can stay positive as much as you can. Because if you focus on staying negative all the time and you can't stop, you have to just breathe and focus. And you have to understand that if you do that and you have your momentum of staying positive as much as you can, that's what it is. Because you have to focus on that. You can't focus and you're focusing and you're focusing and you're focusing. But let's say, for example, that you're focusing on, you know, uh, doing puzzles, and all of a sudden you had a great time doing a puzzle, and all of a sudden you forget to do the corner of the puzzle, and you forget about it, and you think, I forgot about the puzzle piece, or I did something that I'm not supposed to, or I did that because I ran out of time. Whatever the excuse is, because you were acting like you're being positive, and then you're acting like you're negative all of a sudden. If you change that around, you have to change it. You have to change it as a wonderful feeling of what's going on. And that's what it seems to be. So you have to believe that you can do this. Believing is one way or another that you can focus and focus to believe in yourself. Because when I think about doing a puzzle like this, like the reading that I showed you, it's very simple. It starts small, but it works to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And all of a sudden you think, oh my goodness gracious, this is a lot. And that is a lot, right? You have to focus on that ability of what you're going to do. It's that momentum, it's that way of how it is. So, this is what it seems to be, and this is how it is. So, let's see what's going on. So, let's see what these four cards are, and let's see. So, look at this big, huge puzzle now, right? Okay, so let's see. You have the Ace of Diamonds that represents Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn for earth signs. You have the Four of Hearts that represent Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. You have the Ten of Hearts, same thing as the Four of Hearts, so I'll say Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. And last but not least, you have the Ace of Clubs that represents Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So you have that. So you have the water signs are following you, plus the earth signs and the fire signs. So think about how this remains. Um, think about how it kind of is that momentum, you know, embrace of what's going on and see how this is. So before I let you all go, you have to pay attention no matter what the outcome is. Believe that everything seems to be all crystal clear and you have the ability of what's going on and who's doing this and so you see it as you believe it, knowing what's to do and stuff. And whenever you think about believe about what it is, then you believe. Because think about not eat ants on your ice cream. Like, do not think about that. Like, that's funny, but that's really not. Or you forget every previous day. Like forget Mondays and other days. Like forget about that. So, you have to focus on that ability. Focus on who you are and believe in yourself because you believe of what's happening. Because that's what it seems to be. So you have to understand when you look at things from a basic point of view, you look at them and you have to focus on that. Believe that you can do this, believe about how everything is, and believe about the outcome and what have you. So understand of what's happening here, understand of what's who's doing this, and believe that you have to understand about what's going on with the puzzle. And this is what I have for you. So I hope that this reading helps you along the way. Thanks very much. Enjoy and enjoy what's going on. So thank you and have a good day to you all. Thank you very much. Bye for now. Bye.